Hey storytellers! Welcome back to the Book Nook. So, as we prepare for the Storytelling Festival, we've read a ton of traditional tales. We've brainstormed our own ideas for writing a tale just like the ones we've been reading. We've thought about what makes these stories great, thanks to the choices authors make for their characters, settings, and conflicts. We've even mapped our stories out using the hero's journey. Amazing! We're ready to get writing. Now, today is all about sensory details. You know, those little things that help your reader feel like they're right there inside the story with your characters. Let's make our stories come alive. Let me share something real quick from this book I was reading earlier. The cave swallowed the light. Cool, damp air curled around Jacob like fog. Every drop of water that splashed onto the rocks echoed like thunder. He tightened his grip on the torch, its flickering flame the only thing separating him from the darkness. Wow, I got so pulled into that, I felt like I was standing in that cave right next to the main character, Jacob. Could you feel yourself there too? Could you hear the water drops? Could you feel that foggy chill in the air? That's what sensory details do. They pull your reader into the world you're creating. Now, let's try something together. I'm going to say a really bland sentence, and I want you to help me fix it. Ready? The forest was quiet. That's it. Pretty plain, right? Let's think. How could we describe it so the reader really feels it? Think about the five senses. What might you see in a silent forest? What might you hear or not hear? What does the air feel like on your skin? Is there a smell in the air? Damp earth? Pine needles? Could you even taste the fog? Pause for a second and jot down a few ideas about how you might use your five senses to describe a forest. Okay, here's one version I came up with. Not even a single leaf rustled. The air was thick and still, heavy with the scent of wet bark and moss. Much better, right? Now remember, we're not writing our full stories yet. Today is all about gathering strong, vivid details that will help us when we start drafting. The more clearly we can picture our character, setting, and conflict, the easier it will be to bring our whole story to life. Let's start with our characters. In my story, the main character is Cordelia. At one point, she's really nervous. I could just write, Cordelia was nervous. But that doesn't help us feel what she's feeling. So I tried this instead. Cordelia's heart pounded as she gripped her cloak. A chill ran down her spine as the salty wind whipped across her face. Can you picture that? Can you feel it? Now think about your main character. Think about one emotion your character will feel in your story. Maybe fear, excitement, sadness, or anger, and jot down a few sensory ways you could show it. What'd you come up with? Maybe you wrote some ideas for what happens to their body. Like if they're scared, do their hands tremble? Does their stomach twist? Do their eyes dart around? All of these are great ways to show what your character is feeling. Okay, now let's move on to the setting. The place where your story happens needs to feel real too. Take a look at this sentence. The ocean was rough. It's, fine, but we can do better. Let's think of how we might expand it with all five senses. Imagine the sight of towering waves, the sound of water crashing, seagulls crying, the touch of salty spray stinging your cheeks, the smell of sea air, the taste of salt on your lips. Take a minute now and think about your story's setting. Where does it take place? Is it a snowy mountain? A magical forest? a desert full of wind and fire. Picture that place and write down how it looks, sounds, feels, smells, and maybe even tastes. And now, the most exciting part: conflict. Let's take a big moment in your story when something goes wrong or gets intense. In mine, the ocean reacts to Cordelia's anger. If I just say, Cordelia got angry and the storm got worse, it doesn't give us much, right? But watch this. Lightning split the sky, thunder rolling like a drumbeat immediately after the flash of light. The wind howled, whipping Cordelia's hair across her face as waves crashed against the shore. Can you feel the energy building there? Think of a big moment of conflict in your story. An argument, maybe, or a big choice your character has to make. What does it look like? Sound like? How does your character feel in that moment? Pause here to jot down some vivid words or phrases. Then read your description of the conflict to yourself. Do you feel the tension of the scene? Before we wrap up, take a moment to look over everything you just came up with. Now, ask yourself this. Which detail are you most excited to use in your story? Which one makes you feel something? Maybe you'll pick a sound your character hears, the way the wind feels in a storm, or how a setting comes alive through smell or taste. Circle the detail, star it, or just say it out loud to yourself. That's a moment you've already made powerful, and it's going to help bring your story to life. You did such an awesome job today. Next time, we're taking everything we've planned, our story structure, our sensory details, and we'll start writing our full story from beginning to end. So bring your notes, your ideas, and your creativity. Great work today, storytellers. Keep those imaginations fired up, and I'll see you next time. Hey.